Alright, I'm hoping this video looks better than it did the last time. I've adjusted the ISO settings on my camera, so I apologize for how that looked in the what I got for Christmas and what I bought myself for Christmas videos. This video, which I'm filming this yet again because I'm trying to get more to the point of it and not ramble. So anyway, this video is 10 tips for blind and visually impaired people, especially when you're going like to a new social situation or a new venue that you've never been to before. So my first tip is always let at least one trusted person know where you're going, like whether it's, you know, a friend or a family member. I mean, even if it's, you know, somebody you know that, you know, doesn't even live, you know, right near you, like even if they live like an hour away or whatever, you know, if you feel like it's somebody that you talk to all the time, you know, just let them know where you're going. And then also, you know, I mean, me, usually I tend not to go places, at night unless I know there's somebody that I know there that's expecting me to be there. So make sure you're covered, you know, both by the people, you know that are gonna be there and the people you know who aren't gonna be there, but, you know, obviously they're concerned about your well-being, so just make sure people know where you are. The second tip is, and I wish I would have actually put the numbers on here. I'm just kind of going through this in my mind as I tell y'all. Charge your phone completely before you go out. I mean, I can't tell you how many times I've gone out somewhere and, you know, like I've gotten home from work and I've had a little bit of time to charge my phone, but, you know, if I had taken the time to charge it, you know, when I was at work, it would have been completely charged, you know, by the time I left the house to go out to, you know, meet my friends or whatever. And I mean, if you need to, you know, if you feel like you need to, you know, carry a charger with you. Or, I mean, if you're that concerned with the battery on your phone going out, you know, put the phone on airplane mode for a little while. If you are going somewhere where, you know, you have friends or family member going with you, and, you know, you're concerned, this is the third tip, by the way. If you're concerned about, like, how your outfit or your makeup or your hair is gonna look, you know, which isn't, you know, I'm not the type of person to like get all, you know, glammed up or anything for most of the things I go to, but you know, if you are the type of person that, you know, you want to make sure, you know, you're like dressed to the nines and you want to have everything looking perfectly, then, you know, see, like if you have somebody that's going with you or that's gonna be there at the party, you know, just see if you can, you know, meet up with them, you know, at their house, and, you know, y'all can, I don't know, listen to music and get ready together and go together, and then, you know, then you actually won't even have to worry about, like, you know, like if it were like public transportation, for instance, obviously you'd have to be concerned about, well, where is this complete stranger driver, you know, dropping me off at or whatever. But anyway, so yeah, that's one less thing to worry about if you're going with somebody. Fourth tip is, if you need to bring like some visual aids or whatever, I don't even know what you see, I'm like so not usually involved like day to day in the blind community that I don't even know what these are called. But anyway, for the sake of this conversation, let's just call them visual aids. So let's just say, like, you know, if you need to bring, like for me, for instance, I'm like talking to y'all, gesturing and having my magnifying glass in the same hand. So a lot of times, you know, when I'm going out somewhere, I'll bring my magnifying glass. I'll bring a flashlight with me. You know, a lot of times nowadays the cell phones, you know, they have pretty high-powered flashlights. But, you know, sometimes I might not want to wear down the battery on my phone by, you know, taking my flashlight out and, you know, like, you know, having to walk outside with the flashlight, you know, on the phone. You know, especially if I'm trying to use it at the same time, like to get an Uber or something. And then the other thing I've actually started bringing with me ever since September when I've gone to New York. Where's my purse? I haven't felt like I've needed to use this yet, but I've been bringing my cane with me. I bought a new one like right before. This is a folding cane. If you can't see it, it's like got like a black handle on it. I guess it's a rubber handle, and then it's, you know, red and white. But anyway, and it's from Ambiotech. Okay, I wasn't sure where this was from exactly. But anyway, I know I've heard of that before, and I don't even know if like the length of the cane is written on it or anything. But anyway, so I've started bringing that with me, and I bring a purse that's big enough to comfortably fit the cane. Let's see, what tip am I on? The 5th one? Oh, you know what, actually, before I move on to the next one, let me also mention that another thing I bring with me is earplugs. I used to use, like, just, I don't even know what brand they are, but just like clear, I guess silicone putty earplugs from the drugstore. But yeah, nowadays I use, about a year or so ago, I went to the ENT and had them do a mold of both of my ears, and so I got some musician's earplugs. So I bring those with me, because obviously a lot of times at these, you know, social events, you know, especially like for me, like for film industry stuff, like, you know, a lot of it'll be at a bar, or it'll be at, oh, I don't even know what they call some of these things, like a hall or something, where like, you know, it'll just be like one big, you know, giant room, and they'll have like the atmospheric lighting, and they'll have the, you know, the loud music, and then on top of that, you know, you got all sorts of groups of people, you know, not only walking by, but, you know, just chit-chatting with each other. And so like all of that noise together can be kind of harsh for ears. So I bring my musician's earplugs to kind of drown out the music a little bit. Alright, so my 5th tip is volunteer or ask if you can sit at the front table to greet people, because obviously, you know, it's the best way to get to meet everybody. I mean, I'm not saying that's going to guarantee that people are going to come up to you later and want to socialize, but, you know, at least you can, you know, you can feel confident knowing, you know, hey, you know, I got to meet everybody and introduce myself to them. My 6th tip is, and this is something that it's actually a lot easier for me to do if the group that I'm going with or meeting up with is a lot larger. You know, if you need to, you know, follow your friends around, you know, like, and you know, like I said, a lot of times, you know, I'll ask a different friend for, you know, to lead me to, you know, a different place. Like, so if I need to go, you know, find, you know, go to get some food, go to the food table, then, you know, I'll ask one friend, and then if I decide, you know, I want a drink, and that's like, you know, all the way on the other side of the room, then, you know, I'll ask somebody else, especially if they say they're, you know, they're gonna be going over there anyway. Or, you know, like if I need to go to, you know, find a garbage can to throw my plate away, or if I need to go to the restroom, or whatever it is, you know. Yeah, so don't, you know, don't be afraid to follow people around if you need to. Because, I mean, I know, like, if somebody just points and says something to somewhere and they're not specific about it, then, you know, it makes it easier to get lost. Alright, so my 6th tip, and I'm actually kind of surprised in a way that I've seen this a lot written on social media. My 6th tip is, don't feel embarrassed to ask someone who they are. I have to do this constantly, all the time, because, you know, like for instance, I was just at a Women in Film and Television event in December, and, you know, I mean, I wasn't expecting to see a lot of guys there, but, you know, there just so happened to be a friend of mine that I hadn't seen in probably almost a year, and, you know, he came up to me and said hi, and of course I was surprised, you know, to see him there. But yeah, I mean, just in general, you know, like I always have to ask somebody who they are, especially if it's someone I'm not used to seeing in that particular setting, or, you know, I mean, even just like the echo of the room, or, you know, the amount of the amount of other people talking around you, or the loudness of the music. I mean, you know, it makes things differently when you're talking to people, even if you're talking to somebody whose voice you might normally recognize. Alright, so my 7th tip is something that I actually just thought of today, because I was thinking of how awkward it is, like when I go to social events, and, you know, there's people that, you know, they're looking at each other's phones to see pictures of, you know, pictures of their animals, or they're looking at video of their toddler singing Let It Go from Frozen, you know, like, you know, stuff that I can't, you know, that I can't really see that as easily. And so, you know, then they're kind of in on the conversation and I'm not, because I can't see it as well as they can. You know, they might not have the same size screen on the phone, or, you know, same settings, or whatever the case may be. So yeah, so yeah, anyway, my 7th tip is, you know, just kind of, and I guess I could kind of summarize this by saying, you know, just have some conversation starters ready. You know, if you've had like say, for instance, like if you know, if you like to paint or draw or something, you know, have like some pictures of your paintings, or, you know, if you on your phone, or, you know, if you just took a really cool trip out of town and you went to go visit the Grand Canyon, you know, that's a conversation starter. You know, maybe you mention to people, hey, you know, I just went on this awesome trip and saw, you know, the Grand Canyon, and you know, hey, would you like to look at these pictures? Or what else do I have here? A lot of people, especially I've noticed with a lot of sighted people, they like, you know, they're curious. They're very curious about, like, you know, the kind of tools that visually impaired people use. Like, when I was working on American Horror Story, one of the actors, you know, was very curious about my magnifying glass. And, you know, of course I have like a bajillion magnifying glasses, but anyway, I guess I had like 1 or 2 of them on me at the time, and, you know, he was curious, so he, you know, he took the magnifying glass and was like kind of looking at his script with it a little bit, you know, just to see how it worked. So yeah, I mean, I've noticed with sighted people that they're really like curious about, you know, like visual impairment tools and stuff like that. So yeah, I mean, if you have your magnifier with you, or, you know, your cane, you know, you can show them how you use that. Or you know, I mean, some people might have like accessibility settings on their phone, you know, to have it talk or whatever. So, you know, I mean, people are curious about that kind of stuff. You know, it's a conversation starter. So if, you know, if you feel like, you know, that's something you want to talk to them about, then go ahead and talk to them about it. Alright, so my second to last tip, especially for those of y'all that are, you know, might be traveling to like a social event on your own, have a friend wait with you outside, you know, to identify, like, let's say if you're taking Uber, for instance. Like, I take, you know, like I said, I take public transportation all the time. So, you know, if you're like me and you can only recognize, you know, your car by like the color and the shape of it, which is obviously very difficult for me to do after dark, but anyway, regardless, have somebody wait outside with you to help you identify the car, to make sure that you're getting in the correct car. And then, you know, obviously, you know, before you get in, make sure you know like what the, you know, who the driver's name is. And, you know, when you get to the car and you open up the back door, ask them, you know, what's your name, you know. And then my last tip is, let people know you got home safe. You know, I mean, say for instance, if, you know, if you're like me and you awkwardly leave, social situations, you know, something I'm still working on. You leave social situations without actually telling anybody you're leaving because you can't find them. You know, just let them know when you're, you know, text them or whatever, let them know when you're leaving, and, you know, once you get home, you know, let them, you know, and you're, you know, you just locked your door or whatever, you know, just let them know that you got home safe. Alright guys, so that concludes my 10 tips for blind people at social events. If you'd like to explore this topic a little bit further, I'm going to link in the description a video by a YouTuber named Kayla with a C. She has a really great video on this topic. And yeah, if y'all have any tips for socializing, you know, I was about to say socializing at social situations. Yeah, that's kind of a given. I would actually really be curious to hear if, like, from the perspective of a sighted person, like, what their tips would be for blind and visually impaired people. So, yeah, feel free to comment down below, like this video, subscribe, share it with your friends. I've noticed on my analytics that I've gotten a lot of shares lately, so I appreciate that. And I'll see you later. Bye.